Hey,
Hi,
Laci.
Laci.
Question. Have you ever worried that someone was lying about rape?
As a matter of fact, I do. I mean, in my opinion, rape is one of the worst things you could ever do to someone, so when a person lies about it, that is insane. I mean, later on in the video, you are going to complain about rape victims that are not taken seriously anymore. On one hand, you have people that like to throw the word around as if they get to expand the definition to include any type of behavior they don't like, whether it's smacking someone's bum or catcalling, and regardless of what you think about those two things, they aren't rape, but I have heard social justice warriors claim that they are. On the other hand, you also have people that basically say we should listen and believe. So when a person says I've been raped by that person, then without asking for any further evidence, you believe that person and then incarcerate whoever it is that's being accused. If you are going to ask further on in your video, hey, why do people get so skeptical about rape claims these days? More than just healthy skepticism sometimes. Well, it is because of people like you, frankly, who advocate for what I consider a very unjust system where everyone is guilty until proven innocent.
Every single time a woman comes forward about having been abused by a beloved movie star, musician, TV star, YouTubers, that star's fans immediately accuse her of lying.
We're not talking about normal people here. We're talking about movie stars and comedians and musicians who have millions of fans, possibly worldwide. And obviously in that group that contains millions of fans, some nutcases are going to send extremely weird messages and sometimes even death threats to whoever criticizes that person. And it doesn't even take a rape claim. I mean, if you post something stupid about Justin Bieber, odds are you get an angry believer that's gonna give you shit for it. Personally, I am of the opinion that weird drone fans are not representative for the rest of society. I wouldn't base how I view the world upon 13-year-old fangirls that act weird on the internet.
There are men's groups online that claim that women lie about rape 90% of the time.
Give me 5 minutes on Google and I can probably find some weird group that claims the earth is flat or that the Jews did 9/11. The fact that you find something on the internet does not mean that you can hold that thing up and yell that this is representative for the rest of society. The fact that there are men on the internet or women on the internet or whoever on the internet who say that just 99% of all these people are lying doesn't mean that that is what society thinks. That's a very important thing that you need to keep in the back of your head before you take things like this and use them to support your claims.
A sheriff in Idaho very recently claimed that they don't need a better system for rape kits which collect evidence because most victims are liars.
The majority of our rapes that are called in are actual consensual sex.
I don't know this cop or sheriff that you've shown us in that clip, and frankly, I don't even know or care whether or not you're taking his word out of context. I did not even bother to look it up. You know why? Because it's not relevant to the point you're going to make in this video.
And I mean, look, couldn't you or me or anybody in the world just make up a rape for attention to get revenge?
Yes.
Out of jealousy?
Yes.
As Toby Turner's mom posted on Facebook.
What is the case against Toby Turner at the moment? Because as far as I'm concerned, all we have is someone's personal story. And frankly, that is not enough to convict someone, because we don't know whether or not what the accuser is claiming is true. If you take Toby Turner to court today, I'm fairly positive he won't get convicted because of a lack of evidence. And does that mean he didn't do it? No, it doesn't mean he didn't do it. A lack of evidence doesn't mean he's not guilty. It also doesn't mean he is guilty, like you are assuming. Because you just assume guilt on his behalf because you want it to be true. You want him to be guilty because that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Think about this again, Laci. If even the court doesn't know how to deal with this, why would you? If even they don't think they know enough to judge in most of these cases, then why would you know enough? Look, Laci, rape cases are extremely difficult because you just don't know who's telling the truth in most cases. The evidence you carry with you on your body and Most rape victims don't go to the police right away, so within a few days all the evidence is gone. And then from that point on, it's just your word against mine. If you would come up to me as a family member or friend and say, I've been raped, and there's no way for me to objectively find out whether or not you're lying, then I'd believe you on your word because I'm your friend and family member. And just in case that you're telling the truth, I think it's important that you have a friend or a family member who's there for you, and who believes you, and who you can talk to. But on the other hand, if you come up to me and say, I've been falsely accused of rape, and there is, again, no way for me to find out objectively whether or not you're lying, then I'd also take your word for it, because I'm your friend or your family member. Up until I can make an objective decision based upon facts, if you're a friend or family member of mine, I'll take your word for it, because I think it's always important, in case you are telling the truth, that there's someone there for you. And as family member, as friends, that is your only job, to support your loved one. That's how it goes. That's what families are supposed to do, stick up for each other, because that's all they can do. And then it's up to the court to decide in the end who is right and who is wrong.
And I mean, look, couldn't you or me or anybody in the world just make up a rape for attention, to get revenge out of jealousy, as Toby Turner's mom posted on Facebook? Yeah, you could totally do that. But would you do that? And how often does that actually happen?
I mean, of course, you can kill a person and chop them up and put them in a bag and throw the bag in the Hudson, but would you do that? I wouldn't do it, so that means no one does it, right? No one has ever murdered anybody else, because I wouldn't do it. So who would? Laci, it's important to understand that not everyone is you, not everyone is me, and there are some fucked up people out there who falsely accuse others of rape. I know someone who has been falsely accused of rape. Obviously, I'm not going to mention names because I think that person has been through enough, frankly, but it was proven that this person did not do it. And an accusation like that can ruin somebody's life. I mean, imagine a guy gets accused of molesting a child, and he goes to court and he doesn't get convicted because he didn't do it. Imagine what the rest of his life is going to look like. Would you still let him babysit your child even though he was found not guilty? Probably not. Because just on the outside chance, if he actually was guilty, you're not going to gamble and risk your child's life and happiness and health to make a statement. You're not going to do that. So even if you don't get convicted, you're marked for the rest of your life. No one's gonna leave a child alone in a room with you again. And that is why you need to be so careful before you accuse someone or before you blindly believe someone else's accusation. Imagine if it was you. That would not be fun. I can't imagine what that must feel like, to be that person that gets falsely accused.
The FBI states that between 2 and 8% of rape reports are false, which is actually a low number in the crime world.
Rape is a special case. There are not a lot of accusations that are proven false, and there are not a lot of accusations that are proven to be true. A lot of it is just gray area, where the court simply can't decide because they don't have enough evidence either way. And because of that, you can't say things like, oh, it happens this often, because we simply don't know. Laci, it's not a bad thing to sometimes just say, I don't know. Repeat after me. I don't know.
Other crimes, like say theft, they hover around 10% false reports.
You can actually change the variable of that argument, and then use the same line of thinking to prove that, statistically speaking, most rape accusations are false because only a handful of people get actually convicted. It's very rare that a court actually knows what happened with a rape case. It's very rare that a court can actually say, based upon evidence, the rape accusation is false or the rape accusation is true. Mostly, it's just the court putting their hands in the air going, we don't know, because they don't. They don't have enough evidence to work with. And you know that. You're just deceiving your audience, and that's just be a fucking shame, Laci.
And even that that 2 to 8% statistic is deceptive. It includes reports where someone accidentally identified the wrong person, reports that are thrown out because of inconsistent details, but it is a well-known fact amongst victimologists that trauma affects your memory.
Theft and rape are different. They're investigated different. The nature of the evidence is different. It's way easier with a theft to prove anything than with rape. I can put my bicycle on the train station and come back a day later and figure out that it's gone. And a week later I see you cycling around on my bicycle, and then I know that you either stole it or got that bicycle from the person who stole it. With rape, if I don't go to the police straight away, the evidence that I carry on my body is gone. Unless there are actual witnesses, the evidence is gone, Laci. Gone. Gone.
And that 2 to 8% includes survivors who recanted. Someone could take it back because they were lying, sure, but much more commonly, they take it back because they're being pressured to take it back.
Are you fucking shitting me? Which trauma, Laci? Here you have statistics of rape accusations that were proven to be false, and yet you still sit here assuming as if a rape actually happened. You were still sitting here saying, oh, they did get raped, but because of the trauma, they forgot who did it. Is there a way someone who gets accused can win with you? Because first of all, they are guilty until proven innocent. And then when they're proven innocent, you say, yeah, but the rape victim just forgot who the rapist was.
Or because they've decided they'd rather just not deal with it. So what does this mean? It means that malicious, actually false reports and allegations are pretty rare.
No, what is rare are accusations that are without any reasonable doubt proven to be false. That is rare. Just like it's rare that accusations are proven to be true. What is common is that we don't have an idea. Why don't you get that? This is... I don't even know what to say to you at this point, Laci.
And yet, doubting someone, calling them a liar when they come forward is extremely common.
I think there is a huge difference between calling someone a liar and doubting what a person says. Because if I say you're a liar, I act as if I'm the all-knowing arbiter of truth who knows 100% sure that what you just said was bollocks. If you were calling someone a liar, whether it's the accuser or the person that's being accused, then you are giving yourself an authority you don't have and shouldn't have. I would never go out and call someone a liar because I think that's wrong. But that doesn't mean that I won't doubt. I'm a skeptic. I will always doubt everything. Even as of right now, I'm doubting myself. Whenever I make a video, I think, am I right? Am I really right? Is what I say true? Is it reasonable? Am I doing the right thing? You should always doubt everything. And certainly a rape accusation. Not because you don't have respect for the victim, not because you assume that the person who's being accused is innocent, or that you assume that the person who's the accuser is a liar. That has nothing to do with it. It's just being an enlightened, skeptical... Why am I bigging it up? It just means not being retarded, basically.
Many of the reasons why we're inclined to doubt someone revolve around rape myths, myths about victims, and myths about gender. For one, most perpetrators aren't greasy, creepy guys who hang out in the shadows. They're just regular people in our lives. When fans, friends, family, coworkers find out that someone that they know and love did something terrible, it can be really hard to grapple with and accept, and instead, they choose to deny it.
First of all, I don't think these people choose to deny it. I think that deep down in their heart, they just can't believe it. Also, you again assume that the person who's being accused is actually guilty we can't believe that a loved one of ours, a colleague, a friend, a family member, did something awful. Maybe because they didn't! Look, you're right, not all bad people wear an eye patch. I get that there are rapists that are charming, that are intelligent, that are friendly, and even look good. As a matter of fact, I find out that's often the case because if a guy looks very creepy, you won't go along with him. If he doesn't leave a nice impression on you, you won't trust him in the first place. It takes a nice person who is often charismatic to get your trust. So you're absolutely right about that. But that doesn't mean, again, that everyone who has ever been accused is guilty, Laci.
That halo effect around a perpetrator can be so strong that you can have cases like Cosby's where nearly 60 women come forward and report and people still don't believe that anything happened.
I find Bill Cosby a bit of a weird case. I don't know if any actual evidence exists that what Bill Cosby did happened, because like I said, if you've been raped, evidence of you having sex with that person disappears within a few days, and evidence that it was forced is even more difficult to find. All I know is that a few people have taken him to court already, and there are actually some cases going on as of right now. What's special about the Bill Cosby case is that the people who came out often were women who were famous and rich, and who had nothing to gain. You know, I get that a nobody, as rude as that sounds, will accuse a person because they think they can gain from that. They think they can either get wealth, or popularity, or sympathy, or just attention, no matter whether it's good attention or bad attention. But these were women that had no dog in the fight. Why would they accuse Bill Cosby while they have the lives that they always wanted to live? And again, that is not evidence that their claims are true.
Sometimes the perpetrator even goes so far as to say, I didn't do it. They're lying. Sometimes the perpetrator even goes so far as to say, I didn't do it. They're lying. I didn't do it. They're lying.
I didn't do it. They're lying. They're lying. Lying.
This affirms people who don't want to believe that the sexual assault happened. There are a lot of people, particularly in the States, who believe that in order for a rape to be real, you have to have reported it.
Yeah, and if a rape is not real, you're lying. Right, Laci. As a matter of fact, people, I have an announcement to make. I wanted to tell you for a while now, but I didn't really know how to. But I finally assembled the courage that I need to come out and share this with you. I've been raped by Laci Green. And if she tells you that it's not true, she's lying.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying. Always lying to me. You lying so much. You making it hard for me.
And in order for that report to be true, a court must convict them as guilty.
So let me get this straight. You accept that just because the court did not convict someone, that doesn't mean that nothing happened. But you won't understand that if a court doesn't convict someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that the court made a mistake. Maybe they didn't do it.
Now in reality, about 68% of victims of sexual crimes don't report, and only 2% of rapists ever see a day in jail. Does that mean that 98% of people are just lying?
No, it doesn't mean they're lying, but it also doesn't mean that they aren't. All that we know for sure is that we don't have the data to come with a definitive conclusion. Why am I not just doing my homework? This is pointless. Why am I...
No, it means that our courts aren't arbiters of truth, and they're not always adequately equipped to handle sexual crimes.
But don't fail, ladies and gentlemen, because Laci Green is. Where the court fails, she will decide whether or not Toby Turner actually did something wrong.
Then there are myths about how a real victim would act. In reality, there's no one response to sexual assault. Different people handle it in lots of different ways.
I'm not saying that you're wrong there. Obviously, not everyone deals with traumas the way that somebody else would. But I do find it strange that there is this trend where male YouTubers that get just big enough get accused by a complete random person of rape, and that person doesn't choose to go to the police. No, they post something on Tumblr, or they post a YouTube comment, or they post a video in which they don't show their face. I mean, they get all the pros of falsely accusing someone, which is A, the defamation of the person that you're accusing, and B, all the attention. But C, you can still remain anonymous and you don't actually have to go to court, after which you'll fall on your face. But it is very strange that as of late, all these teenage girls are just posting these Tumblr posts in which they come out and tell their story. I really wonder how many of those are legit, because we all know it's very easy to just post something on the internet that's utter bullshit. I mean, if there are people that are willing to threaten to kill you on Twitter, if there are people that are willing to send you emails in which they threaten to kill your children only because of political disagreement, then why is it so hard to believe that someone could also go as far as to falsely accuse you of rape?
Another myth when it comes to men is the belief that men can't actually be raped. Men want sex all the time. He had an erection. He was into it. But an erection is not consent. And increased blood flow can be a fight or flight response.
An erection doesn't mean that you're aroused. Your penis is your friend compass, and it points up because Jesus is your friend. No, in all seriousness though, I do agree with you here. It is true that men get raped too, and that often is not taken seriously.
Lastly, one of the sneakiest and I think most pervasive reasons why people don't believe survivors is that most survivors are women. There are many subconscious sexist beliefs that we learn all throughout our lives that come in and inform our opinions. That women lie a lot, we're not trustworthy, we're manipulative, you know, bitches be crazy.
Do I smell bullshit?
When those attitudes and biases within ourselves go unchecked, they absolutely do real damage. But wait, what if it really is actually truly false? False reports are illegal, and they're typically taken pretty seriously when they surface. It's really important to talk about them, because ultimately, in this fight, we're fighting for justice, for everyone. So we need to pay attention in the rare moments that this happens to address them, to better understand them, and we do a whole lot of talking about false reports, which is why we also need to talk about the reality that sexual assault accounts are nearly always true.
First of all, sexual assault and rape, not the same thing, lady. Technically speaking, it's already sexual assault to smack someone on their bum because you're touching their body and that person did not give you permission to do that.
How we more readily believe someone who says they've been robbed than they've been raped.
Because those two crimes are very different. You don't often get robbed by a person that you know. You get robbed by people that you don't know and that just chose you as their unlucky victim who was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Besides the fact that they might select you because you look wealthy or look like someone that is easy to rob, their selection is random. So obviously, if you want a person to go to jail, if you want to ruin a person's life, then you don't say, oh, he robbed me. No, you say, he sexually assaulted me.
How men are far more likely to be sexually assaulted than to be falsely accused.
We don't know how many people get falsely accused, Laci.
How it's far more common that a survivor is convinced to back down by the public, friends, family, even the police, when something horrible did happen.
Oh, sorry, no, I was just sitting here waiting for evidence, but I didn't realize that you didn't have it.
We need to talk about how widespread myths and disbelief protect abusers and allow them to keep on abusing others. If false reports are something that worries you, know that statistically, you're on the side of reason and justice and truth to believe someone who comes forward.
I want what you smoke, but like less of it. Laci, all you've shown us are percentages of cases in which the judges were actually able to say this accusation is true or false. In most cases, it's a huge gray area. That means that if a person doesn't get convicted, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were innocent, but it also doesn't mean that they weren't innocent. It means that we don't know.
We need to be willing to face the truth, to approach justice honestly, even when the perpetrator is someone that we know and love. So to April Fletcher and any survivor who finds the strength to come forward on YouTube or beyond, I believe you.
Remember when I said Laci Green raped me? Even she believes me. Maybe I should go to the cops now.
And one day I hope that the world does too.
So ever since Laci Green raped me, I opened a Patreon, and you can donate money based on how bad you think the rape was. So if you think it was like really, really bad, then you can donate like $10. But you should donate because otherwise you're a sexist and you think rape is good and should be legal. Has it been up long enough? Has everyone seen that? Just trying to cash easily here.